A Chinese saying goes, "Happy is he without sickness, rich is he without debts." This holds true at a basic level, as debt causes financial struggles, essentially taking money from your future self when you borrow. In today's world, debt is crucial and plays a significant role in our economy. Nearly everyone utilizes debt, but the key difference lies in how people use it, some for their advantage, while others mishandle it. Understanding that debt can be beneficial is challenging for many, mainly because most are familiar with one type, often labeled as bad debt. This includes high-interest debts, such as that of credit cards, car loans, and student loans that take years or even decades to repay. Now, let's talk about how some folks use debt wisely to get ahead, compared to how average people usually deal with it. For many, taking on debt is a way to buy things like a car or a house that they can't pay for all at once. They end up spending many years paying off this debt to eventually own what they've bought. 1. Business debt. For the rich people, debt is like a helpful tool that lets them do things they couldn't manage otherwise or speed up their plans. They see debt as extra resources for growing and achieving more. One way people make money using debt is by using it to grow their businesses faster. Some companies take on debt to invest in expanding their operations, like hiring more people or opening new locations. Businesses may also use debt to get products or supplies from other companies on credit, especially if they don't have the money right away or want to keep their funds for other uses. Take example of Steve Jobs, who faced a challenge when making Apple's first major sale. Despite selling 50 Apple computers to the Bytes Shop, a local computer store, he lacked the parts and funds to build them. To overcome this, he approached a computer parts company, requesting to obtain the necessary parts on credit. Due to his lack of credibility, he had to show the purchase order from the store to secure the credit. Successfully navigating this, he completed the order, marking Apple's initial earnings of $25,000 in the 1970s, equivalent to approximately $115,000 in today's money. No doubt, misusing debt can harm our finances. Using debt to initiate a business, especially without experience, is strongly discouraged. Wealthy individuals often invest time and resources in comprehending debt and its proper utilization. 2. Leverage. Some rich folks earn money in a smart way by using a trick with their investments. Normally, people invest their own money and wait for it to grow over time. But these smart investors do something different. They borrow some extra money and add it to their investments. This is like giving their investments a boost, hoping to make even more money than if they had only used their own cash. It's a bit like having a financial helper to increase their potential earnings. Consider Tom and Jerry's investment scenario. Tom invests $100,000 in a portfolio with a 10% annual return, earning him $10,000. On the other hand, Jerry invests the same amount but adds a 35% leverage, totaling $135,000 in his portfolio, $100,000 of his own money, and $35,000 in debt. With a 10% market return, Jerry makes $13,500, exceeding Tom's $10,000. Consequently, Jerry's return on investment increases to 13.5% instead of the typical 10%. However, it's crucial to note that while this method can lead to higher returns, it also involves higher risks. Imagine the market decreases by 10%. In this scenario, Tom would lose $10,000, but Jerry would face a loss of over $13,000 because Jerry's portfolio is technically larger than Tom's. Despite the increased risk, sophisticated investors and hedge funds commonly employ leverage to enhance long-term profits. Yet, there are alternative strategies investors use to make money with debt, even when markets are on a downturn. 3. Shorting investors can employ a strategy known as shorting. In this approach, institutions or individual investors don't borrow money but instead borrow stock from a brokerage firm. For instance, let's consider an investor who anticipates a decline in the value of Company X. The investor borrows one share of Company X, initially valued at $100. This results in a debt equivalent to the value of one share of Company X, not $100 in cash. The investor promptly sells this borrowed share in the open market for $100, obtaining $100 in cash. Fortunately, the investor's prediction proves correct as Company X faces a significant scandal, causing stocks to plummet by 85% in a few days. Consequently, the shares are now valued at $15. Our investor seizes the opportunity and purchases back the stock at the reduced price of $15, using $15 from the $100 obtained by selling the share initially. Subsequently, the investor returns the borrowed stock to the broker and retains the remaining $85 as profit, accounting for some interest paid for borrowing the stock. This illustrates the approach that numerous investors and institutions, including hedge funds, use to profit in a declining market. This method comes with extreme risks. In traditional stock investment, if you invest $100, the maximum loss is $100, occurring only if the company goes bankrupt. However, shorting a stock exposes investors to theoretically infinite losses, as there's no upper limit on how high a stock's value can rise. The recent GameStop situation exemplifies this risk. Hedge funds heavily shorted the stock, anticipating the company's financial troubles. However, retail investors countered by buying substantial amounts of the stock, causing its price to skyrocket. Within a year, the stock surged by over 11,000% from its lowest point, resulting in hedge funds that had shorted the stock losing over $13 billion. 4. Real estate traditional methods also exist for leveraging debt to generate income. Real estate stands out as a prevalent approach employed by average individuals to expand their wealth. Real estate enables investors to acquire property, even without immediate funds for the purchase. Through borrowing, investors can own a property, transforming it into a source of positive cash flow. This strategy allows them to leverage a larger asset, with others contributing to debt payments, building equity on their behalf, and generating positive cash flow. Smart investors have additional tricks to grow wealth. Here's an example. Buy a property for $300,000, put down $40,000, and get a $260,000 loan. Even if the property isn't top-notch, its prime location in a thriving market matters. Spend an extra $10,000 to spruce it up. Now reassess the property. It's valued at $360,000. With this new value, approach the bank for a refinance. You can add $60,000 to your property's equity or cash it out. This means borrowing from your own assets to invest in another property, boosting your wealth. 5. Free up money to invest. Using debt to generate income is often more favorable when interest rates are low. Consider a scenario where you want to buy a $50,000 car. If you can borrow the money at a 2% interest rate, it may be more sensible to finance the car instead of paying in cash. Investing that $50,000 in the stock market with a 10% annual return would yield more income from your investments than what you pay in interest. Consider this example. Opting for a 5-year loan at a 2% interest rate to finance your car results in a total payment of $52,583, including interest. However, if you had invested that $50,000 in the stock market during those 5 years, it could have grown to $80,525, a profit of nearly $28,000, showcasing how judicious use of debt can contribute to financial gains. 6. Tax avoidance. Another strategy employed by wealthy individuals involves using debt to avoid taxes. Wealthy people are adept at tax avoidance. In the typical retirement investment approach, you allow your assets to appreciate over time. When it's time to retire, you gradually sell assets or use their cash flow to fund your lifestyle. However, this exposes you to taxes on the proceeds. Selling stocks or real estate properties upon retirement incurs capital gains tax. Imagine you've worked hard and built a $30 million real estate portfolio. Ready to retire, you decide to sell a property, making a $10 million profit to fund your retirement. Unfortunately, this sale triggers a $2.3 million capital gains tax to the federal government. If, let's say, you live in state of California, adds another $1.3 million in state taxes. In total, you pay $3,754,365 in capital gains tax. Consequently, your $10 million profit reduces to $6.2 million, with almost 40% going toward taxes. For an investor, losing 40% to taxes seems unfavorable. To mitigate this, instead of selling the property, you choose to borrow $10 million against your $30 million real estate portfolio, using it as collateral. Importantly, debt is not considered income and is not subject to taxation. This strategy enables you to enjoy your millions without the burden of paying capital gains tax. The key benefit here is that since you didn't sell your assets during your lifetime to cover your expenses, those assets kept growing in value. This results in more money for your heirs compared to selling the assets and paying taxes along the way. It's a strategic way to leverage your assets, ensuring their growth while minimizing the impact of taxes on your estate. If used wisely, understanding and strategically utilizing debt can be a powerful tool for financial success. The catch lies in using various ways to learn from the wealthy who leverage debt to enhance their wealth, from growing businesses and portfolios to avoiding taxes through smart financial maneuvers. However, never forget the importance of responsible and informed use of debt, as misuse can lead to financial challenges. The key takeaway is that when used wisely, debt can be a valuable asset in achieving financial goals and prosperity. Like always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Until next time.